Okay, the topic is about unlocking your authentic self. This is a very, very important thing for me that I wanted to share to you, and whoever it is who would eventually listen to this audio recording. Hopefully, somebody would actually pick up something from this. I wanted to talk about it because it was, basically I was strongly triggered by it last year, 2018, around November. That was when my good psychic friend, she's a very beautiful soul, a knowledgeable person, who actually gave me a free personal reading for my birthday, okay? And what was actually touched on during the reading was very important for me. It had something to do with, are you living your life based on what you want, or are you living your life based on how others wanted you to become? Whether that's family, that's friends, coworkers, whoever, okay? And so I decided right now just to share about, some of the things I've experienced in my life. And I know that I'm still in the process of unlocking my authentic self, okay? So, to begin with, I'm actually pretty much happy in some aspects of my life. I was able to live out my personal truth. I was live out my authentic side. For instance, when it comes to relationships, okay? I'm not talking about just, friends and all that. I'm talking about romantic relationships. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm already 39 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I've never had any relationship, like real, we're talking about real relationship with the opposite sex. And that was a big issue for a lot of people. I'm not sure in other cultures, but here it's a big issue. Sometimes you would get bugged several times by your friends, like, oh my God, you still don't have a boyfriend? Are you so picky? That's the funny thing, when people would actually judge you based on your current status. And we're talking about relationship status. So when they find out that you've never had a relationship, a lot of ideas are swimming around their head until they would actually come to a decision, or if not a decision, an idea, or they would eventually become very judgmental, which is funny, whenever I observe people doing that. Because they would come up with ideas, or they would actually come up with, a judgment towards you. In my case, for instance, I would actually encounter, even when I was in my early 20s, people would always ask me, like, have you had a boyfriend, or do you have a boyfriend right now? And when I tell them, no, I don't have one. And I remember back in college as well, whenever, during college days, your classmates, the girl classmates would actually, be very, very much, they would ask you, like, why is it that you're not spotting around for some guys out here? Because some of the people that I've met, even during college days, especially the girls, they would actually look around for some hot guys and all that. And I'm just totally focused at my school, my studies rather. So they would say that, oh my God, are you gay, or are you lesbian? That's funny. And I get that a lot. I really do get that a lot. I tell you, in my 39 years of existence, I've had a lot of judgment from people. I've had a lot of people asking me, like, why is it that you haven't had a boyfriend yet? Especially friends I haven't seen for a long time. Like, for instance, just last week, I went out with on a reunion with some of my coworkers that I've worked with many years ago. And when they saw me, they were like, okay, so are you married now? Like, you have kids? The last time we talked, you've never had a boyfriend. It's funny because it's also, sometimes you can't blame them because it's what they were also conditioned to be. So people would normally give you a lot of judgment based on who you are or what you are, what your relationship status is. So that's one of the things I'm very proud about. Like, I didn't get too much pressured when it comes to having a relationship with the opposite sex, or having a relationship with someone just because I was actually pressured by the society. I was pressured by relatives or family members or friends or coworkers. Okay. So normally I get that kind of judgment that you are either a lesbian, or sometimes when they see you actually in a, talking to someone with the opposite sex, or with guys, they would automatically say that, is that your boyfriend? Things like that. And I would tell them, no, we're just actually great friends, And it's funny. It's really, really funny how people are actually much more jumpier than I am when it comes to relationships, Like they're very, very much jumpy. Sometimes you would even question the idea where are you really concerned about me having a boyfriend or having a relationship with someone? Or I don't get it. Like, why is it that people are really, really pressuring you to be in a relationship? There was also one instance where a coworker was actually like seriously asking me to go on an online dating site, things like that, or even set you up on a date. Like, nah, I'm not into that, So on that aspect, I was able to live my authentic side. I didn't get too much pressured about what other people wanted me, to become, like to become that someone looking for love, to become that someone who's always like trying to participate in online dating or, things like that. The reason is because I always ask myself, and I guess this is a great tip if you want to unlock your authentic self, okay? Always question yourself or ask yourself, am I happy? Or am I happy being single? Or am I happy to follow what they wanted me to do? Is this really who you are? Are you really that type of a person that would actually participate in an online dating? Are you that type of a person who would meet up with stranger or just like a blind date or whatever? If the answer is no, then follow your intuition. Follow your own decision. And I've always followed that. I've always told myself, like, why do I need to do that? For what reason? So that, okay, finally, when people ask me, when people sees me the next time, oh, I have a boyfriend now. Oh, I'm actually married now. And they're, you're not you don't get those weird reactions from them, like, or judge you based on who you are. Like, maybe you're a lesbian, or maybe you're this, maybe you're too picky. You get a lot of judgment, but it's very, very important not to take things personally, because that's the funny thing, how people are actually being conditioned by society, that you are beautiful, or even by media. You're beautiful because of based on the media, what media is showing you. This is who you should become. You are only beautiful if you have this type of a body. You are only beautiful it's because of this, or you are accepted because of this. So I'm not saying that I've lived my authentic self already. There's some parts of myself where I was actually influenced by friends. I was actually influenced by relatives or families, or by the society as a general, But, and when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love relationships, that's one part of me where I really didn't, do things based on the pressure of the society, on the pressure of friends, pressure of family members, like you should get married, or you should have, you should hook up with someone, Yeah, so sometimes you would begin to question whether that's just because they are concerned about you, or was it because they sense that it's sort of like a weird thing to do. But for me personally, it's not, because I always ask myself, is this really what I wanted, okay? And it's not to say that I don't want to form any loving, healthy relationship with the opposite sex or with the man, it's not true. Of course, I do want that. I really do. But I am just not like too desperate enough to be in a relationship just because, that's it, just because your friends are pressuring you, your coworkers are always pressuring you and asking you, And that's one of the things I've always done in my life. Because I always believed that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, Of course, you're not going to meet the one if you're actually just staying in the four corners of your room. Of course, you have to go out there, mingle with people, but don't do it for the purpose of, so that I will have a boyfriend, so that I'm finally going to have a boyfriend and I'm going to be in a relationship. Always do things based on your own decision, on what you want. And that's what I've been doing when it comes to relationships. I just go with the flow. Like, if I fall in love, I've actually hook up in such a way, like be friends with someone where I've fallen in love with that person. And if things didn't work out, well, it didn't. The next time I'm just gonna, it won't stop me from meeting other people again, but always question your motives. What is it? Why is it that you're actually going out with someone? Why is it that you're actually meeting people? Is it because with the hopes of having a relationship with someone eventually? Or is it because you just wanted to, get to know people, a lot of people? In my case, I do. I love to actually get to know more about other people, socialize with them, and just basically just meet them, not for the purpose of eventually having a relationship with them. But if it comes to that point, then who knows, right? If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. So yeah, that's, the thing that I'm proud to say, that I've never been too much pressured. Although there are times you would question yourself. Like, for instance, there was one coworker, or many, not just one, many coworkers who actually told me that, how old are you now? And I would tell them I'm 39, and they were like, oh my God, you should find yourself a boyfriend or a husband, because it's going to be hard for you to give birth someday. And I was like, oh, wow, we're not in the boyfriend aspect yet. And now we're moving towards having kids, It's really funny. I find it really, I'm sorry, but I find it funny because it's like this. It's like, okay, I'm going to find myself a man who's going to give me kids. Like, what, for the purpose to have a kid? Like, when I've always believed that when I enter a relationship, it's because I love the person, that we would complement each other, not because, okay, I'm gonna have a boyfriend so that people would not make fun of me anymore, or would not judge me anymore, or I will have a boyfriend because people would say, oh, she's finally normal. Oh, she's finally normal. Look at her. And then if I ever had a kid, someday, it's because I wanted to have a kid, or I'm ready to have a kid. I'm ready to become a mother. Not because, oh my God, because I'm getting old and, nobody's going to take care of me, or I'm going to have some, what do you call that challenge when it comes, because as you grow old, right, women who at the age of 40 plus, it's hard when it comes to childbirth and all that. Yes, I know that. I'm totally aware of that, but I don't want to be pressured just because of, because of the fact that I'm already 39. I've never had a boyfriend. I've never had a relationship with anyone. And they're kind of like fearful that maybe you're going to have a hard time giving birth someday. Okay, that's funny, because I don't want to think that way, or pressure myself, basically, because that's actually very much low vibration, Fear is a low vibration. Fear and anxiety and all that is low vibration. So just go with the flow. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I always believe on that one. Anyway, next one would be, so I've talked about some experience I've had in my life where I was pressured, where I was actually asked to do this and to do that, or to go on a date with someone that I don't really know, which is, for me, personally, I don't like that. I'm not into that. I have no judgments. Other people do that. They go online dating, or they go, what do you call that? Speed dating or whatever, or that kind of blind dating. But I'm not into that, really. I've never been into that, because I always wanted to be in a relationship with a person, based on a strong foundation. Like, I'm not saying that if I go on an online dating, I couldn't find a real healthy relationship. I'm not saying that. It's just that it's not me. That's not me. That's not how I do things. So again, this is related to the topic of, are you living your authentic life? Are you doing things based on how people wanted you to become or to do the things, that you should be doing? Or is it, am I doing things because this is what I want? This is what I believe in. So, yeah, that's it, really. Okay, what else? When it comes to hobbies, also I get judged when it comes to hobbies. Like, for instance, I love cosplay before. I do cosplay. I do because I love the Japanese culture. And again, I'm not not living an authentic, life just because I have a Japanese moniker. I do that because it's just a platform where I can express myself, where I can actually just express my creativity and all that, but not really saying that I'm very fake because I'm not actually putting my real name over there. We all have our own decision not to. It's still a social media. It's a public account. So if you're very much careful not to share your real name, go ahead. Don't do that if you don't feel like doing it, So as for me, I use the YouTube platform to just, upload some stuff that I really want, some of the things I've been doing. And some people would actually even, make fun of how you are actually, your interests, basically, your hobbies. For instance, in my case, I've been into cosplays, not really participating in cosplay event, but all I did in the past when I was blogging at it's a Japanese blog where I would put out, some pictures of me, like makeups and all that, just to put out my creativity and all that. And that was way, way back, and, friends or coworkers would actually make fun of me. Like sometimes they would make fun, like you're acting like a teenager. You're not a teenager, but you're actually doing those cosplays. And I was like, who says you're too old to do that? You get that kind of judgment sometimes, not all the time though, but that's just one of the example where people would actually judge you and would hopefully want you to change that based on what they want things to be or based on what they think is right, okay? Another example would be when it comes to tarot readings or when it comes to psychics. That is precisely why it's so uncomfortable for me to talk about psychics and mediums in my YouTube channel because you get a lot of judgment. That is very, very normal, People always judge you, whatever it is that you do. So the main lesson here is not to care really what people think, not to care about what they're going to say, or if you get, reactions and all that, negative reactions, just let them be. Don't be affected by it. Just live, again, your authentic self. Get that authentic self out, basically. So, when it comes to tarot readings and psychics and mediums, those are the things that I'm into. It's esoteric, and I've always been interested in that as a kid. So there are times I would get comments from people, even coworkers, like making fun of me. They would say, you're actually there's this famous Filipina psychic in the Philippines. She's actually quite, old and all that, and she's kind of weird. And so they would actually try to compare me to that person, like, are you Madame O-Ring? And I was like, oh my God, here we go again. Just because you're into astrology, you're into tarot and all that, they would make fun of you and judge you based on your interest or your hobbies. It came to a point that is why that I don't upload much about it, because I don't want any talks about, especially there are some people who subscribe to my channel and they would see like, what the hell are you uploading? What the hell are you uploading? Why are you uploading psychic stuff, And it kind of like hindered me to show my authentic side, my authentic self. So that's one of the lessons I'm actually going to, the lessons that I've realized, that it is okay. Go out and do what you want, whatever it is that you want, any ideas, topics that you'd like to talk about. Am I expecting people to like me? No. Okay, am I expecting 1 million views? No. So what the hell is the problem? Then go ahead and just upload the stuff that you're actually into that makes you happy, and that's it. don't care about what other people think about you, how they would judge you, how they would react with what you're doing. So that's also a great tip, especially if you've encountered that there are things that you're actually doing wherein people would judge you and tell you that you're acting weird, that you're acting crazy, that you're into those supernatural stuffs. Sometimes people would even say that you're demonic or you're a witch. That's also, really, really funny. Like, for instance, if I upload something to do with, let's say, sage and all that, and some of those oils, and people would automatically like judge you, like, oh my God, you're demonic now. Oh my God, you're demonic. You're possessed, and all that. But it's something that I've kept for such a long time. That is precisely why it took me a long time to share something to do with psychics, because I know that's very sensitive for other people. It's not something that I'm very comfortable with. But then again, I've learned that I don't need to imprison myself based on, I'm not going to put it out there because people would judge me. I'm not going to live out my authentic self. It's because this is safe. There's a saying that if you are confident, you tend to step out, or step in rather. But if you're actually not confident enough, you tend to just play safe, right? So when you're confident, you step in. When you're not confident, you actually just be in your comfort zone, or just, play safe. Okay, and that's what I normally do. I'll be very honest with that. So I always wanted to play safe. Like, okay, I'm just going to upload something, or I'm going to talk about some of the things that is quite normal to people. But actually, I've realized, it's actually not. You don't have to become what majority of the people are. I get a lot of judgments that you're weird, that you're this, you're that, you shouldn't be like this, you shouldn't be like that. Oh my God, you're actually into tarot or into psychics and all that, and esoteric things, because you're a witch or you're demonic and all that. And speaking of demonic, this is also something funny in terms of hobbies. Okay, I want to share this. I've tried to write it down here. Yeah, when it comes to music. When it comes to music, I love listening to all genres of music, by the way. I listen to new wave, I listen to R&B, I listen to rock, heavy metal, death metal. So yeah, when it comes to music, especially when it comes to metal music, because I love metal music, people would judge you. You get really like, oh my God, you're listening to metal music, so are you demonic? Like, you're worshiping Satan now, And I was like, what the hell? Just because I'm listening to rock music or metal music, I'm worshiping Satan? I'm not, And that is funny, because people would automatically judge you based on your interests. Other people, on the other hand, at workplace, for instance, because I dress professionally, of course, I act professionally at work. It's a different hat, so you go to work, and some of the agents that I'm handling, like, they would ask me to play music in my laptop, and then they would hear me, like, playing metal music, Pantera, Soulfly, Sepultura, and those are actually not even death metal bands yet. But whenever they would hear you like play that, like, oh my God, that's not like totally you, because they thought that I'm the type of person that is really into, let's say, very R&B or things like that. But and some of the guys, the agents that I've handled, they were like shocked, like, oh my God, coach, you're listening to that? And I tell them, yeah, why? And they were like, cool, they were like, cool, my God, I didn't know that you're listening to all that type of music, So it's funny at the same time. I want to, inject this topic with humor as well, but it's something that is realistic, something true, So yeah, so another example here, because I'm trying to look at my notes. Workplace. Okay, there are some things that I've been doing at work where people would also judge you or control you. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be, why are you including this on your Excel file? Why is it that you're doing this? It's funny because for me, I do the things based on how I think it's appropriate or how I think it's gonna work. But again, either boss or coworkers would say or judge you that, you should be doing that, you shouldn't include that, there are times that I just do things based on just to stop them from always judging me the way I do things. I would just eventually do it, but that is wrong. Again, are you living your authentic self? Always, do the things that you want, not based on how they think it should be, what it is that, what is normal. So basically it's all about the norm, some people are just doing things based on, this is the norm, this is what society wants, this is what the media says, things like that. And that is very, very scary, That's a form of manipulation, that's a form of brainwashing, or this belief system that you just have to do these things because this is what is normal, this is what is normal for people. But then again, at the end of the day, always, be aware. Self-awareness is really, really important. Always be aware and always ask yourself, am I doing the things based on my own beliefs, on what I want, Because at the end of the day, if you actually screwed up and all that, it's okay. That's all about life. That's what I've learned as well, because I always ask other people for decisions or for opinions. And then I'm going to apply it. I have learned it the hard way. I have learned that I should be doing things based on what I think is right. Now, if I screwed up and all that, it's okay. Life is all about, making mistakes, and you would never learn if you didn't commit any mistakes. So yeah, so I guess that's what I wanted to share when it comes to being your authentic self. Ask yourself, are you doing the things that you really want in your life? Or am I going to do it because this is what Mary said? This is what Peter said, This is what my parents told me to do, I wanted to become, let's say I wanted to become a nurse, but my parents wanted me to become a teacher, things like that. Always follow your dreams, always follow what you want, not what the society wants or what you are actually being programmed to do. So again, when it comes to supernatural stuff or psychics and all that, I get that kind of like, I don't believe in psychics. Then don't. Nobody's pressuring you to believe. Nobody's pressuring you to watch my videos, or nobody's pressuring you to like my videos. If you don't like it, go ahead. It's okay, but I'm not going to allow you to stop me from doing what I wanted to do in my life, because this is my life. I am the king or the queen of my life, So that's one of the things I've learned lately. And just, show respect. Of course, not all people are going to be pleased with what you're doing. Not all people are going to accept what it is that you want in life, whether that's relationship, like you love this person, and, the rest of your family members or your friends would say, oh my God, why are you in love with that person? You shouldn't be with that person. Follow your heart, follow what is true within you. Even a lot of people are saying that you shouldn't be with that person. You shouldn't actually be engaged with that person. It's just funny that some people are actually, doing things just because everybody keeps saying the same things, that you shouldn't be with that person, you shouldn't be in a relationship with that person. But ask yourself, am I happy with this person? When it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, am I happy with this person? Is this person giving me life? Like, not like giving you life, where I always believe that it's, when it comes to relationships, even though I've never had one, it's all about complementing each other, not filling the void and all that. But like sharing each other's energy. If this person is making you happy, if this person is actually, giving you positive energy and all that, then go with it. If it's something that makes you happy, not because I'm not going to be in a relationship with this person because my father told me not to. My parents, my family, my coworkers said I shouldn't. I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to advices, but always try to, be very discerning and follow your intuition. and eventually you'd find the right answer. Now, if you screw up, that's it. It's all about life. It's not being perfect, you know. But I guess the point of the topic, or what I'm driving at here, is that always, you know, when you make a decision in life, when you actually think of a, you know, or when you wanted to make a decision, or if there's something that you wanted to carry out, always follow what your inner self is trying to tell you, not just because what people are pressuring you to become. All right. So yeah, I've learned it quite the hard way on some things, but when it comes to relationships, again, I'm very happy. I'm glad I wasn't pressured on that one. But in some of the, you know, decisions in my life, yeah, I was somehow influenced. And I'm just doing it just because this is what they want. Because whenever I do the things that I want, I would always get a reactions, or I would always be, you know, be judged. And that is something that I've learned nowadays. Like, I'm going to do the things that I want, not because what they want me to become. Okay. I know I keep on, you know, saying the same things over and over, but sometimes it's very important in order for you to get the message, really. So yeah, that's it. I think that's it, basically. And I told you, I'm talking right now, and it's already 31 minutes. I'm living my authentic self. Okay, there you go. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are cool. And again, I hope that this would help some people out there. Okay. If you enjoyed it, then give it a like. I'm kidding, you know, I don't care about likes, views, and all that. I'm just sharing it. Even if nobody listened to this audio recording, it's totally fine. I'm doing it for myself anyway, not really doing it so that people would like it, or so that other people would, or so that it would get millions of views or thousands of views. I don't care about that, because I always believe that if the message is actually, number one, I'm doing this for myself because it's a form of a therapy for me. I'm actually, you know, sharing my, you know, or speaking up my mind. Number two is, if there are people who try to listen to it and it somehow triggered them, or it's somehow they were meant to listen to it, then that's great, right? So the views, the likes, the subscriptions doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. In fact, there was this coworker of mine last week, before I end the recording, okay? There was this coworker of mine last week. She was very much into fashion, furniture, or showing her, you know, nice home, lovely home, and she wanted to do a vlog about it. And people were also telling her to vlog, you know? And so I asked her, the first question I asked her was, do you want it? Are you into that? And she said, yes, I really want it. And so the next question I asked her, so why is it that you're not doing it? And she said, I'm really, you know, I don't feel like doing it because maybe, you know, she was very hesitant, like, but if this is something that you want, then go ahead and do that, you know, do that. And she said, I'm worried about the views and all that. And so I told her, don't worry about the views unless you wanted to make money out of it, you know. If you're very serious about making, you know, money at YouTube, and, you know, to have thousands of likes or 1 million subscribers, then yeah, I won't be surprised that you're quite worried about the views and the likes. But if you're doing this just some sort of like a platform for you to show your creative side, to show your hobbies, your interests, go ahead, do it, you know. Don't care about how many people would look at your channel or how many people would comment down. You know, just do what you want. Anyway, told ya, 33 minutes. All right, bye-bye. Love and light to everyone. Bye.